party. There's always a party. Let's go, Paulie bag of donuts.
Bringing back the nicknames, baby. That's what I like to. I don't want to be like, let's go, silky smooth.
No,
like,
big sexy.
I like. They're both not good. That's the thing. Like they're just both not good.
I got a question for you. Are you still hungover from your little shenanigans you had this past weekend?
Dude, the month of September, man. like last week of August, month of September. Paul PBD's been drinking.
Well, we have. I knocked something over already. But we have to shout out the newlyweds.
Shout out the newlyweds. Over the weekend, my sister and now my brother-in-law. That's first time saying that.
Whoa, that's weird.
Had just got married on Friday.
Nice. Were you the ring bearer?
I was not. I was. They had some little kids. They had their dog in the wedding. Like their dog came down. And he was like part
of the ring bearer.
He was like part of it. Yeah.
That's nice. Was there? Did they have to like tame it to get there?
No, he was pretty good.
Nice.
He was going to everyone, but he was pretty good. I have an idea that I want to do like for my wedding instead of like a traditional ring bearer.
Are you going to tell us?
So like it's called the ring bearer, right?
You're gonna have an actual bear.
You're
not.
I want a baby cub. I want like a cub, and I want to like tape or whatever they tie like the pillow with the rings on or whatever. And I want to tie to the cub, and I want the cub walking down the aisle.
You know, some sayings or some things are not meant to ever be taken literal. I think that's one that should remain not literal.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, there's a lot of things I want for my wedding, but a ring bearer, so not a ring bearer.
How about a wife to start? You know, you got to find a wife to start.
That's a great place to start. I feel that, but you know, the ring bearer you just got to have in the back of your mind.
I did see some of you were really getting jiggy with it. I saw some videos of you at the wedding. There was one move that I was shocked that you could even do. I didn't know Paulie Bag of Donuts had the athleticism to do the old Irish, like, hey. I was like, I didn't know Paul can move and bend like that. It's probably been a minute since he moved like that.
Somebody, I don't know where that video, I think maybe my little sister, somebody like took that video and I reposted it. It was good, man. Yeah.
I was like, I don't think Paul can bend like that.
It's called the Russian dance. Oh, it's like, because it's from, I remember it being in like Just Dance. Remember the video game?
Oh, yeah.
So the guy would be like, this would be like, hey. And he would like go up. And it was something that I used to do in high school, and I always like to do. And
I was shocked. You got like 5 in. I was like, yo, it's stamina. He's throwing some flexibility.
You got to show the dance moves while you can. And when a dance circle arises and it comes to be, you got to prepare and be ready. And the dance circle. But that night, dude, like if you ever been a part of a wedding, not just like a guest, but like actually been a part of it, the night just flies by.
Really?
So quick. Like it was the quickest night of my life. I don't remember one dull moment. I like never looked at my phone.
That's because weddings are like jam packed, like to the T. Like they actually get a wedding planner and you plan per the minute.
Like it was. I mean, I was there at like 12 o'clock. The wedding was at 5. We did pictures at like 2. But we were getting ready. We were drinking like in the room.
When did you start drinking?
12:30.
Damn.
Probably ended at like 1.
I saw a video of a guy who was just smacked up at the altar. Did you see that video? And he's like the best man. He's behind the groom, and he's literally like shifting back and forth, and he's about to puke everywhere. He's like falling over. The guy behind him's catching him. I bet there's a bunch of stories out there where guys either don't make it to the altar or there's some like scarred moment in their life that happened at the altar.
There has to be. The problem is like with a wedding, right? And I knew this going in where I did not want to black out. Like I didn't want to forget that night. Like I wanted to remember. It's a wedding.
That's
like,
what my girl in attendance tonight. She's like, you're not allowed to get blacked out on your wedding. Like,
you should remember the night. Yeah.
No promises. But the problem is, I think people would like come up to you throughout the night. Let me get you a shot.
Yeah.
Like let's take a shot together. Congratulations. Like how many congratulations shots are we probably looking at for our wedding?
That's why you gotta do champagne. You can't be doing like hard liquor. Even like me, like starting at 12 o'clock, right? And then going till the party ends. That a goal to myself was only do a shot if we're doing it as groomsmen, because I was part of the party. So as a groomsman, so we did like 2 shots as groomsmen. They had an old fashioned, which was their signature drink. So after they got married, all the parties, like all the groomsmen had old fashions with.
How did that set? Like, did they have like an old fashioned dispenser?
No, well somebody made them and they had them
ready
to go.
That would have been dope, like an old fashioned dispenser.
So
out of like an old fashioned like object, that'd be dope.
But they had them like ready to go, and then I told myself throughout the course of the night, you're just drinking beer, like not that fast, like just beer. Can't have anything else other than the shots we do as a group, like, one or two, and then we did a toast for champagne, but that was it.
Did you have to say anything? Did you do a
No,
toast?
I mean, no, I saw this.
I feel like you'd be a good representation.
I would be. Yeah, I would be. And
did you have something planned, and your sister was like, "Nah, you're not doing a speech tonight, Paul."
I mean, I wish. I saw a TikTok today actually, which was so interesting, where it was a guy. He was talking at the wedding, and he was like, the maid of honor talked, and the best man talked, and like. Sally and Jim talks because they're the parents, but everyone always forgets about the brother of the bride. And I was like, yeah, that's so funny. So he's like up there giving a speech, and he's like, you might be thinking why I'm up here, because I'm sick of being like not represented at weddings, and this is for all the brothers of the bride. And it was just so funny. And I was like, that was me. I was the brother of the bride, and as that person, you really don't have much to do. Like,
no.
You're not, the sister might be the maid of honor. In this case, it was. The brother of the groom was the best man, and I'm part of the party, but you're like the one family member who doesn't, give the speech or doesn't really have a huge responsibility.
Yeah, it is a weird place. Well, we're gonna be in wedding season soon. Like, we're at the age where it's gonna start kicking up. So I mean, we'll still be on air. We'll still be on Life's a Party.
Yeah.
So I'm sure those stories will come about, and we'll talk those through when time comes. New segments on the show.
I don't know.
Ryan learned this week.
Is this going to be like a recurring thing?
It will only be a recurring thing if I find or learn things that like actually bring value to the show.
Okay.
There was a couple things that I learned that I'm like, you know what? This is going in what I learned this week.
This is good.
So the first thing I learned is that ice, like, you know how everyone always says you're supposed to ice an injury?
Yeah.
Apparently that's a myth.
Why? Why would that be?
You're not supposed to ice an injury because when it like swells up and there's like a bruise there, it's like a defense mechanism for your body, and it's like help healing the womb.
Yeah, the womb?
Whatever it is.
The wound.
Wound.
Oh God.
Well, that's what I found out. And also because ice is cold, so it like stops stimulating your blood flow.
That's true.
So therefore, there's a myth. Second thing I learned: womb and wound. What's the womb? A woman's like
the womb.
Oh, that's the womb.
Like you were in the womb before you were born.
Womb. Okay.
Did we not go over this? Oh wait, no, that was
breast milk.
We might have to have a segment of like the woman's body and go through like
take you back to anatomy of the women's
like
body.
a PowerPoint of how the woman's body works. Second thing I learned is that Whitney Houston did not drown. I don't think she didn't. Like, this whole story is that she was on cocaine and she took a bath and she drowned in the tub.
Okay, a hot tub or like a tub, like a bathtub?
Just a bathtub.
Okay.
But I heard that she was so coked up from coke that she went into the hot tub, and the hot tub was so hot that she didn't feel the temperature and she burned to death.
I mean, things like that. That's like a Final Destination shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the hot tub, like the temperature's too hot, or like just normal things around your house that obviously could go wrong.
Would you rather burn to death?
No.
Would you rather burn to death or drown?
Burn to death.
I think I mean, growing up, I always thought two worst ways to die, right? Burning alive and drowning, because as you said, like definitely the worst. It just like no matter what, because they're long-term deaths. They're like they take a while. Like drowning, you're literally suffocating. Like you're paying attention to you dying, and then burning alive is you're feeling this mass amount of heat. But I don't know, because it's weird. I think like pain like that. Like say if someone shot you, I think it hurts, but I don't really. I mean, someone could tell me wrong. I don't think it's like that painful.
I don't know how anybody's gonna tell you wrong.
No, but
unless
like,
they got
if you've
shot.
ever gotten shot, right? Like in the moment, it doesn't hurt. Like I've been in a situation where I had a high stress thing happen to my body, where like you go cold, like you don't feel anything, right?
Right.
Like your body's under so much stress that you literally do not feel it for the first, I don't know, 30 minutes, right? So if you get shot in the heart or shot, I mean, obviously if you get shot in the head, like it's automatic impact, so you don't feel it at all. But like shot in the heart, do you like, and you maybe have what, like 10, 20 seconds? You're not going to feel it. Like, who, you know what I'm saying?
Talking about death to start the show.
Well,
wait, what's the one thing what's the one thing where people get like such like an exhilaration rush that they can like lift a car in the heat of a moment?
That's
adrenaline rush.
Adrenaline, yeah. I mean, that's just...
That's crazy how like a person can get so much of an adrenaline rush that they have to lift a car up to help someone out.
If lifting heavy objects, running really fast, like certain things where, if your body's just in the heat of the moment and like, there's a crisis going on, you're gonna figure it out. You know what I mean?
One last thing that I saw, and this is not something I learned. It's more so what tricked me. So I was on our TikTok, right?
Okay.
And actually, I was on my personal TikTok, and I literally had like 50 followers, and I follow like 10 people. And I'm like scrolling, and I noticed that like this like popular girl it said on her video that she follows you.
Oh.
And I click on her page, and I'm like, I don't think she follows me.
You got
And I'm
tricked.
like, am I on Life's a Party? Because we have a lot of followers on
Yeah.
TikTok. So I was like, oh, does she follow Life's a Party? And I check, I'm like, no. And then like it happened again with some like magician. It says like follows you, and I'm like, I click him. I was like, why the hell would this guy follow me? So I click his account, and I'm like going through, and it's like, it doesn't say Ryan Smith on that he follows.
Well, that's
it's a new thing that people are doing.
It's a trick. So, like, it even happens when we're on Life's Party on that TikTok account that has a lot of followers. I've thought about it, not gonna lie, but it's basically a trick because what's happening is if you're scrolling through TikTok and right above their name in the bottom left-hand corner, it will say follows you, and if they do follow you, then like it's like okay, maybe TikTok's trying to create friendships through the app, through like popular creators. So if they follow you, you maybe like their video, go check them out, see if they follow you, and maybe follow them back. But in this term, this is just a quick way for people to get higher views on their profile. Because it's like, oh, follows you. You'll go, oh, that's weird. Go over to their profile.
That's exactly what I did. I was like, why does this person follow me? I don't follow a lot of people. Click their profile, was on their profile, looking through their videos. They finessed me.
Yeah, it's a finesse.
So we should start finessing them.
I don't know, man.
It's a dog-eat-dog world.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
so let's be the dog. Let's be the bear in the ring bear.
All right, whatever you say. When you start editing the videos,
Life's a Party. Here we go. So we're getting into this show. Starting the show, we're doing a little segment called Questions to Conversation. So these are some questions that hopefully give you guys, the listeners, obviously listen to Life's a Party. We appreciate you. We love you. A better insight about us, better insight about me and Paul, and basically our outlook on life, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I mean, get to know us a little bit more. We'll talk about these things. We like talking about different things on the show.
Yeah, these topics are very rangy.
Yeah, and they're just like about life, right? Like living life to the fullest is what we'd love to talk about on the show, and I think we'll take the show in the future. So this is just some lifestyle stuff. And what's our first question we got?
So some are more serious than none, but this one's not that serious. So the first question is, what weird food combination, Paul, do you really enjoy?
So like top of my head, like I don't enjoy this, but I know a friend who loves like grilled cheese and ketchup.
That is disgusting.
Same.
Okay, so we need a new producer. We need a new producer in this show.
Grilled cheese. I think all of them are ketchup related. They're like grilled cheese and ketchup.
Pizza and ketchup is gross.
What?
What is this guy?
Eggs and ketchup.
My sister and brother, they eat eggs. People really like ketchup. I'm not a big ketchup
I'm a huge ketchup fan.
But that is gross. A couple things I have here. I have my infamous fluff crackers. Saltine cracker with fluff. I never ate sandwiches in high school.
Yes.
So me being 220 pounds in high school, I brought Fluffernutter crackers is what I called them. My mom would pack my lunch.
Like every day.
Every day my mom would pack my lunch. I'd get Fluffernutter crackers. I would always get 6, never 7, never 5. And they're 2 saltine crackers with fluff. Ultimate hit. Go try it out at home if you haven't.
I would do the same thing, but with ketchup.
What is this guy? We need a new producer.
Saltines and ketchup. In high school I did like peanut butter and saltines, but something else I put on this that I really like. I like water ice, and soft pretzel.
That's common.
No, so it's
you
common.
dip it?
Yeah, it's common in our area.
What?
Dude, you don't do that?
No.
Dip the water ice? Dip the pretzel
you
in
dip
water
the hot
ice?
pretzel in the water
No,
ice.
I like the combination of having like a gelati or water ice and pretzel, but not dipping them together.
Yeah, dipping them together. You get that hot,
Well, pretzel and ice cream
like
are good.
salty, and then you get that cold, like sweet. It's just so good.
That just reminds me of the guy that blended pizza and Coca-Cola together. That can't be good.
And then like drank it.
Yeah.
Ew.
I mean, people like what they like. You know what I mean?
People also, I get a lot of shit for putting peanut butter on my bagel. Like apparently
No, I've seen
I didn't
people do
realize
that,
that's not
yeah.
a thing. That's not normal.
That doesn't seem like
I
it's
do
that
peanut
bad.
butter on
yeah.
like
Like
you
bread.
can. Yeah,
Alright.
bread,
Next
English
one.
muffin.
What's the next one?
Next one we have here is what's social stigma does society need to get over?
I'm not really intelligent, so I'm not really sure what social stigma actually means, but I'm going to give it a whack. So actually, my thing is that why is it in this country, I guess, I don't know if this. I can't speak
Like
on the
a
world.
society norm. Like, what's a society norm that you just like, that doesn't make any sense?
Well, I was just
anymore?
gonna say like how younger people aren't valued in knowledge, if that makes sense.
I agree.
Like I feel like what isn't there like an age range where you can only be a president if you're like over 35 or 40?
I think that's more of experience, but
I know, but I'll say this: I
Yes.
think that people in I'm not saying it like on a biased take, but 18 to like 28 or 18 to 30, like those are much more knowledgeable people, and they're adapting with times, and they lived in each generation. And I just feel like the older people, oh, he's just a dumb kid. Like I feel like there's got to be more respect for the younger kids because there's younger kids who read research books, and there's kids that have met other people in their life that an older person might have never met that have influenced them in knowledge in somehow. So I just feel like there's got to be more respect for knowledge in younger people in the 20s or even in the teens.
I agree. I mean, I agree in the country that a lot of people don't respect like the knowledge of the younger generation, or just saying like they're dumb or like they make no sense or like
He's only 23.
Correct,
He doesn't know
right?
what he's doing. Well, what if I met someone like Elon Musk and I worked under Elon Musk? My experiences in that 5 to 10 years I worked with Elon Musk is much more than what Karen, who's 65, who goes to bingo night every night.
Yeah.
I think you can respect my knowledge and my opinion on things more than what elder people do for younger kids.
I agree. I think it's just more the mass, and I do agree that knowledge does come with maturity.
Oh yeah.
And I think, I mean, just being alive for longer, I mean, even realizing like your life starting, right? So like a lot of people don't even believe their life doesn't truly start until even like after college, right? Because then there's a lot of more things that where they're not worrying it that they never worried about at the age of 22 and younger. So it's just getting older, obviously experiences every day and you're learning so much new. Yes, at a young age, you're like grasping everything, but I think it takes a while to really like formulate
Or like
and
older
like put it
people will
together.
be at like Walmart and like it will be like a 24-year-old manager. And the person will be like, "Can I speak to your manager?" It's like, "I am the manager. Like,
Yeah.
I'm young. I've been around." Like, it's just, I think that's just like a social stigma that like the elders don't really respect the knowledge.
I agree.
And how much knowledge us 20-year-olds or late teen kids have.
And I think it's going to get worse because, I mean,
Especially like not
Yeah,
to cut you
today.
off, but
No,
in
with
today's
today's,
times with
yeah.
technology, we're more equipped to the technology, and technology conquers this world basically. And the elder aren't there, so I think even that should make them like respect us a little more.
it's just even the stuff that I'm consuming on a normal day basis, even if it's YouTube videos. Like,
yeah.
I was getting obsessed with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Do you know him?
Neil deGrasse.
He's
Tyson?
the space guy.
Oh, the young NASA kid?
No.
Uh,
Neil deGrasse Tyson is the guy who like I forget what his actual term like his job is. Astrophysicist. So he's like
wow,
a
that's impressive. Out of you.
astrophysicist, and he just knows all about space and stuff. And I am just so like I've been watching all his YouTube stuff.
Oh yeah, is that the same guy you talked to me about earlier, or a different guy?
Probably
Yeah.
the same. And like he's just not like phenomenal. But I don't know what the knowledge was.
Well,
Whatever
didn't you
was.
say that he like quit his NASA job and then?
Oh no,
started-
that's a different guy. That's a different guy. That's Mark Rober. Mark Rober is a YouTuber who's phenomenal. Where he was a NASA engineer and he worked there for whatever. He worked on like a rover to Mars, and then he decided to quit his job at NASA and become a YouTuber.
That's awesome.
But he's phenomenal at YouTube. Like he's really good
Yeah,
at it.
that's
So, the society thing that I have is having piercings and tattoos in the workplace. How
That's
it's
a
like
great
frowned
one.
upon, right?
That's a great one.
And I think just within, it's just our generation becoming leaders in those roles.
That's what I'm saying.
In the next 10, no, but I'm saying in the next 10 years, where like, I really do think that will go out the door because having tattoos or piercings or whatever is not deterring you from the job. It just depends on the job in general. Like I talk about how I used to work at a golf course. I used to work at Trump National Golf Course in Philly. And I was like 19 years old. I did it for a summer. And I had like semi-long hair. It wasn't like my long days, but it was like semi-long, kind of a little bit before my shoulders. And I remember Buddy was like, "Hey man, if you want this job," I know the money was good because it's just a golf course. And I was like, "Hey dude, if you want this job, to make sure to come in your interview, your hair cut and like your beard shaved, like clean skin." So I was like, "Okay, cool." I remember every day, like if I had work at 6 o'clock, 5:30 had to shave. Hair had to be really maintained. I came in one day where I shaved the night before. I came in at like by 8 o'clock, my boss was like, "Hey, go into the bathroom. There's a shave kit in there. Go shave. Like this is unacceptable." But I shaved at like 10 p.m. the night before.
That's a great social stigma that needs to be canceled. Because even like the one that thinks of me like that is like dining or like restaurants. They make like waitresses or waiters like
Like,
wear
cover
a
their arms.
sleeve. Like they wear like sleeves to cover up their like sleeve tat.
Like I'm here at Applebee's. Like I don't really care if you have a tattoo. You know what I mean? Like live your life.
The elder people do sometimes. Karen going to bingo.
I think it depends on the job and the like society, like work.
like a doctor.
Yes. So I don't know what I'm thinking of. It's just like that work environment. So yes, if you're a doctor, if you're a guy on Wall Street, like it's just the standard. Unfortunately, but I think in the next 10 years it won't be because it's like nobody really cares.
Yeah, I agree. All right, next one. What's something you really resent paying for? Producer Drew's dying.
Oh my God, you okay, my guy?
Try not to ruin the audio.
He was laughing at me so hard that he started coughing. That's what it was.
There you go.
Yeah, sure.
Did you get some water? Are you good?
There he goes.
He's a
right
little
there.
red in the face, but he's still alive. Next one is, what's something you really resent paying for, Paul? You buy a lot of random shit. Probably more random shit than you probably should. Is there something that you're like, man, I wish I didn't buy that one?
So I was thinking about this question, and you were like, "Oh, I feel like you should be able to answer this easy." I'm like, "Why?" Because I have a lot of random stuff, and he's like, "Yeah,
Yes.
I don't like regret paying for any of this stuff."
You're
like,
a big no regrets guy.
yeah, because here's a big thing. I'm thinking of that tattoo.
No regrets.
No regrets. Yeah. Because I think it's. I mean, growing up was always some right because I have a lot of knickknacks in my bedroom. I collect pop Funkos, which I realize I have like 130. They're like $12 a piece. Do the math, right? Like they add up. So I understand, but
I'm not good at math.
But at the same time, like there's
I'm not good at fucking anything on this show.
There's a really cool statement that I was told where, like, a little story, guy goes into a bar, or lady goes into a bar, she hates alcohol. Like, literally hates alcohol.
Well, she's at the wrong place.
Well, that's the whole idea, right?
I'm sorry, I spoiled that thing.
Well, so this woman has, like, a survey. She goes into the bar, she goes up to the guy who's drinking, and was like, hey, how much do you drink, a day, per week, per month, per year, right? Does all the math. Said, hey, if you spend X amount of dollars per year on beer, you've been drinking since the age of blank. Like, how much money in your lifetime have you spent on alcohol? And the idea is that she's like, she hates alcohol. She's trying to get people to stop drinking. And, it comes to like a Ferrari. So the price of a Ferrari, right? Like $250,000, whatever it is, right? And she's like, well, if you didn't drink, you would own a Ferrari. Like, do you ever think of that? And he goes, do you drink? And she goes, no. He goes, where's your Ferrari? Like,
that's great.
No matter what, people will spend their money on what they want to spend it on.
And
it
also
doesn't
a good
matter.
A good argument for that is like, yes, you spent all that money, but you've captured how many moments with friends, family, nights that are memorable. You could tell your grandkids.
Like,
it's all worth it.
Like my sister growing up, or would spend a lot of money on clothes, or a lot of money on purses, or things that I'm like, that's so much money. Why are you spending it on that? But that's what she enjoyed,
That's
right?
what made
I'm
her
not
happy.
going to complain because I spend on inanimate like little like figurines. Like,
Right.
that's what I like. If that's what you like, spend your money how you want to spend it.
I say that with like sports betting. It's like I enjoy like girls like to go out and they go shopping. They buy new clothes, new shoes.
Correct.
I like to bet $50 on a game, sit down with my friends, have a steak,
If
and
that's
watch
what
the
you
game.
wanna
That's
do,
like
yeah.
a night to enjoyment for me. It's a hobby for me.
Yeah.
But what are some things that I resent paying for? This kind of piggybacks off of your like stuff that I resent. I got into NFTs.
Oh,
And
no.
like, and NBA Top Shot, it was NFTs, and I get into things that get a lot of hype, but I don't have enough knowledge on, so I don't know what I'm doing.
You can't
So I
benefit
feed
from it,
into the
yeah.
hype. So NBA, ESPN's talking about, oh, NBA Top Shot, you got to get in now. I'm getting in, buying everything at the peak. It's just like anything collectibles I'm getting in. I'm getting in like sports cards, but the problem is since that's not online, it's like figuring out how to like sell to people. Or like what the value is, and just like getting into shit that I don't have time to really invest myself in. Maybe I regret that. And the last thing I said I regret buying is a gym membership. I regret investing in one of those.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not going, it's a lot of money to like waste per month. You know what
I know. Did you cancel yours?
I did not know.
Where the fuck's your Ferrari?
I have to cancel mine because I won't be going to that gym anymore.
You should call him right now. Next one.
Next one we have is, what are some red flags to watch out for in daily life?
So I guess we're just talking about anyone
In life,
specifically.
yeah, I guess.
Well, I'm a big like positivity guy. So
Okay.
like anybody who's like has a negative outlook or is always
just keeps
moping,
talking. Yeah,
they always bring out like the negative stuff, and also like people who don't have good manners. Like if someone is always negative and has bad like manners at a restaurant or like in public and they're saying things around people that they shouldn't, that's just like a turn off for me and like people in general.
Yeah, I mean, if you're at a like that does get to me too. If you're at a restaurant or a like a clothing store, or you're talking to a cashier and you're giving anyone a hard time, it's like, dude, like it's not their problem. Like do not be rude to them. They're trying. I've been in that situation too where, you know, if I'm talking to someone and they're like, "Hey, I don't know what to do." I understand that you're getting paid probably $10 an hour and you maybe just started. Like I get it.
You don't got no Ferrari.
No, right? But you know, try to direct me into somewhere you do. I'm not mad at you. I just want my question answered. Like that's all I want, or my problem solved, or whatever. So
I hate how people don't. One big thing that like my girlfriend and I do is like we help clean up at the table at a restaurant.
Yeah.
So like you stack the plates, you put them at the edge of the table.
That's a courtesy thing for sure.
So like when I don't see that, it bothers me. I don't know why. I know some people are like, oh, it's their job. They're getting paid to clean up, but it's not. It takes you 2 seconds to stack the plates and put it to the edge of the table. I mean, come on. So if you're negative about your life and you don't have good manners, we can't hang.
Yeah, manners are a really big thing, just to me. I mean, just how you talk to people. I don't like, even if you're not in someone's presence or like you see something online, like you don't need to say negative things. So
trolls.
Not even trolls. Just like if you're talking about someone, it's like, hey, like you might think that way, but like, why talk about it? Like, it's not that important. They're living their life. You live your life. Like, do you really need to comment on it? Like, you might not agree, or you might, but it's just to make fun of that person or to like talk bad about them for no reason because they're just enjoying themselves. It rubs me the wrong way.
Let's just shotgun a beer and move on.
Yeah, exactly. Next one we have here is, what would be the worst thing to hear as you are going under anesthesia before heart surgery?
So if I were about to go under for a heart surgery and the last words are, "This is my first time," I think I'm fucked.
That's a good answer. That's like,
I think I'm in trouble.
Okay.
I don't know what, I obviously wouldn't be able to do anything, but if I hear, "Oh, this is my first time doing one of these," okay, I'm a little nervous going to sleep there.
I don't know why I thought of this, but I thought of someone be like, "Hey, just make sure, try not to shit yourself."
What? What?
Like, what? Like, that always...
Why are you always thinking about shit? I don't know why you just love shit.
Because I, like, that doesn't, like, what?
Shit's funny, dude.
Paul's going to sleep. I hope I don't shit myself.
No, but it's, you ever...
Paul wakes up, everybody's like, holy shit, yo, it smells here.
I mean, but you ever been to the doctor and you're just like, hey, like, you know, just make sure I'm not farting or not, I don't have to poop or like whatever, or even
no. I'm not concerned of my fart issues when I'm going in the public.
But that's just something too. It's like, all right, you know, just make sure everything's gonna be fine. Just don't shit yourself.
Like when you take your pants down and the doctor has to check.
But just make sure you don't shit yourself.
Cough twice. Like that.
Just make sure you're good. You know what I mean?
Dude, my girlfriend's a nurse and my sister's a nurse. The amount of shit they have to deal with at a hospital is
astronomical.
It's actually disgusting. All right, enough for this shit. Literally. Next one.
I got the next one.
Okay.
What's something people don't worry about but really should? I have a great answer for this one.
I think there's a lot. I mean, we talked about this before. Robots. I think robots are something we should start worrying about.
I think there's other problems first, but I think we will get there.
Okay, so, but here's my thing. Also, like climate and robots, right? That's two things. Did I steal yours?
Yes, you did.
But here's my thing. Like robots and climate, we see that it's causing a problem, but what does everybody always say? Oh, I don't have to worry about it. It's not going to happen in my lifetime.
Yep, exactly.
That's the thing that everyone always says. So when is that? Oh, it's not going to happen in my lifetime. It runs out.
It will. Yeah. Well, that's a really big criticism where we don't want to pay for like putting in the structure for disasters, like natural disasters. It's like, oh, well, we don't want to spend X amount of dollars on, you know, preparing for this hurricane if it doesn't happen, right? But then your disaster relief is like 8 times that. So, and you're going to pay, like, that's what always happens, right? You don't want to pay for the prepare, but you're going to pay so much more for the relief.
And then ask for donations.
Yep, and it's just ridiculous. Where it's the same thing with Earth, right? As we're gonna say, with climate,
same
right?
thing with Earth.
Well, with climate that's going on right now, where I love space. I love this idea of like, why is NASA so important, and why are there independent space adventures going on with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and why do they have different, like, why do they want to go to space, right? And then why is NASA trying to go to space, and like, what are we trying to do? And the end goal is, yes, we want discovery and we want the knowledge, but at the end of the day, like, we're gonna have to find another planet. If you want the human race to survive, I know it's super deep, but it's because of climate.
That's pretty wild.
It's because of climate, and it really is. Like, if that's our relief plan, right? Like, if all hell breaks loose and we go south, you want extinct, like, human race. If not, like, you have to prepare, and the problem is everyone on Earth is not preparing.
So what you're telling me is I gotta start looking into the leaving Earth fast pass
On the Zillow.
So I gotta start looking
at
for
places.
my fast pass. So when it comes time that we have to get shipped out of here,
Exactly.
I got the fast pass front of the line. I'm on the first ship out.
Shipped out of here. Imagine you get FedEx to Mars.
Put us in fucking boxes.
But I think climate change is a big one. I mean, I just don't know. I
What
just
was that
don't
one-
physically understand why people don't see it as a problem.
What was that sign outside the Wall Street Journal? We talked about, like, way back on the podcast. The one that went viral on Instagram. Wall Street Journal put a sign that said, like, we have 9 blah 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 days to live.
So they put a clock in
that's what it
Times
was.
Square, and it was 7 years. It was a 7-year clock, and it was counting down, and it was saying, hey, like, if we don't do something about climate change by this year, in 7 years, it's irreversible. So no matter what we do,
But that's all that what I want to say about that is how media always does that. It builds up, and then that Instagram post was a big deal for a week. Then forgot about it.
But there are people that do big. It's just a problem because you can't push it all the time, and it's really comes to play.
Here's my thing: is like, what can I do?
You can
Just
do a
pick
bunch
up
of shit.
trash.
No, I mean, well, if you
Not to be like ignorant.
no, so the problem is, like, everyone's like, oh, recycle, or the don't use plastic straws, use metal straws. Hey, like, yes, you want to save the turtles, but at the same time, the idea of using a plastic straw will do not using it will do nothing to.
They're still going
to
to mass
help.
produce them, aren't they?
Yeah, but I'm saying that it's not going to help. Where most of that carbon emission is coming from the businesses and, like, massive industries, where us recycling, it's like a 3% help. Like, it does. You need to contact those big companies, and they need to start changing. And that's why a lot of companies are, like, even the cars and all that stuff's going green, and the batteries, even Teslas, they're not the best. Like, yes, the battery's better than the gas, but, like, the battery's actually not that great. So in the long run of, like, 30 years, like, where's it going to be?
This is off topic, but speaking about Teslas,
Yeah.
and you know how Elon Musk wants to make Tesla like an affordable affordable car.
Yeah.
So here's my thing. So Tesla right now is basically viewed as like a luxury car. So if you have a Tesla, you have you have good money, you're living a pretty wealthy life. You seem cool in a Tesla. So what happens when the Tesla's going the same price as a Honda Civic? So those wealthier people aren't going to want to drive around in a Tesla
Why
anymore.
not? You just buy a higher model, right? Same idea as if you like Ford, right?
People aren't going to want a higher model Honda Civic.
It's not. I mean, there's different models.
Little Johnny's going to his junior year of high school in the same car that I don't know, Elon Musk is driving.
But so you have people who can afford more to get another car. I would rather have that better option for the planet to go to the mass people, right?
Paul's a big planet guy.
No, but right, the idea of the electric car and why Tesla is successful and what they wanted to do is that they eventually wanted to get this electric car that was a very high price point to the masses. And what they did was they got the funding. They started it as a sports car, and that's where they got all their research and funding and all that stuff. And then they have slowly trickled it down to get it to a price point where, hey, people like it, people will buy it, and then they're actually they're helping the environment.
But the materialistic, the wealthy, there's materialistic.
It's a
wealthy
small, but what, 1%, 2%, even
don't know.
10%. You're getting those people who have a lot of money and can afford it. Who gives a shit about them? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I guess.
I would rather have that 30, 40, 50, 60% other than that dumbass 5, 10%.
Sure.
Like, they can go drive their luxury car, their Lexus, their BMW, their Mercedes, and get more people who afford a Tesla, because at the end of the day, like, that's going to be better for the environment.
Good transition to the next one. Paul,
Don't get me on topics, man. I'm passionate about
do you
some
think
shit.
children born today will have a better or worse lives than their parents.
Okay, so I think
Staying on topic here.
Staying on topic, yeah. In like 30 years, I don't think the sky's gonna be as clear as we see it.
This guy.
So if you walk out, you want
This
clear.
guy's Mr. Earth over here.
You want clear skies, you probably ain't gonna have it. Like
You want to see the stars? Too bad, little Johnny.
You probably ain't gonna see them. Yeah. So dead ass. But I think in terms, there's a lot of really great things. About, we constantly talk about technology, making our lives easier, and communication. There's some really great things about social media, some really bad things. But in terms of communication, something that happened with our show, right? Like a video that we posted got to a news outlet in the UK. 30 years ago, 20 years ago, even 10 to 5 would have never happened, right? Yeah. So that communication that people all across the country can see us, that we can see them, that you're more knowledgeable about events happening in the country that are important, that strengthen your knowledge about life and just social political change. I mean, there's so many crazy things. So that knowledge is amazing.
That's a positive.
That's a huge positive, and will continue to grow. And people will learn too, like YouTube with what we're talking about, like how-to videos or things that I can sit here all day, not go to a job, not do whatever, but I could be on YouTube and have a more productive day because I'm learning, expanding my knowledge, and learning how to do things in the future, as well as pass that information on to other people to benefit everyone in the whole. So that's great. But in terms of climate and actual life, you probably won't be living, too great.
Well, I was watching some podcast, and they were talking about like, hey, are you like looking to have kids or something? And he was like genuinely, the guy answered, I forget who it was. He genuinely answered, he was like, I really don't think I can have a kid right now, solely because of like where we are at as a country, like with COVID and just like the schools getting shut down and learning from home and not climate, that's more long term, but it's just, would you really want to bring somebody into this shitty life right now?
Yeah. I mean, if you look back in the 70s, 80s, there's always something big going on. So like, yeah, the world's always hasn't been great, but it's interesting. Have you ever seen the movie Interstellar?
Interstellar? I've heard of it.
Have you seen it, Drew?
I think I've seen bits.
It's a space movie.
I've seen bits and pieces, but I don't think I've seen the whole thing.
Oh well, it was basically it takes place in like 2077, and he's talking about how he had a kid, and like the guy's like, dude, just to let you know, your daughter will probably be the last generation on Earth, because like you won't like there's like dust clouds and like all this stuff where they won't be able to breathe, like the atmosphere is gone. Like the atmosphere is gone. So it's this really interesting statement where like, what life are you live? Like, yes, do you want to have a child and grow a family? Absolutely. Do you know what you're leaving them? Like, how are they going to survive? So it's interesting.
Have you ever seen E.T.?
Yeah.
That's a good movie. I want to be like that guy.
Ryan's like, space E.T.
What's that? One last thing on this guy. Who's the guy who's the Jets fan? He's big.
Gary V.
Gary V.
What about him? Yeah.
He said like the odds of you becoming a human are like so astronomical. It made me feel, I know it's not really on topic, but we're talking about like more like giving birth and the kids and bringing them into this world. It's like,
so I think, I forget what it is. It's
crazy.
a 4. It's like a 4 trillion.
4 trillion odds to have a life as a human.
Yeah, it's like 1 in 4 trillion. Because he's like, oh, you think you're having a bad day? He's like, dude, you won the freaking lotto. Like, you just being here is ridiculous. So
have positive vibes. Listen to Life's a Party.
Positive vibes. Yeah, we talk about serious stuff, but positive vibes. Live your life.
We're talking about shit, but positive vibes.
Get the world in order, man. You want to live your life? Get the world in order.
First of all, shit is a big climate thing. Like elephants shitting.
How?
That causes climate problems.
How?
Feel like it does.
No, there's no. There's no way. It's false information going on.
You don't think an elephant farting causes no problems in the Earth's like gases?
Well, cows do though.
Oh, cows. Yeah, cow shit. There you go. All right, well, enough of shit. Is it my turn?
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. What was cool, Paul?
Is it my
when
turn?
you were young, but it isn't cool anymore? I got one. Heelys. Those things were fire.
Dude, there was some kid in high school that actually had one of those. Everybody started pulling out their phones and recording this guy going down the gym because that was just fucking insane.
Dude, Heelys were the best. I used to wear them to the mall.
Well, the mall started to put up the signs.
And then the school started. I wore it to school. I was Heely in the class. I mean, those things should make a comeback.
They kind of do. I've seen a bunch of like new versions of them, all that stuff. It's just, I thought they were exhausting.
Also, one other thing that I think was cool when we were kids and not anymore was like riding your bike. Like, you would ride your bike with your friends, and they would come to your house. They would knock on your door. Hey, Ryan, you want to go ride the bike? And we'd go ride our bikes across different towns for hours. And wouldn't get home till like the break of dawn.
Well, I don't think we just don't do that now, but I've seen when I drive around town, especially
so
in the
maybe
summer,
we just grew up.
maybe we, yeah, exactly, right?
Kids still ride bikes out there.
But people do ride bikes. The difference in bikes is, though, I've noticed where when we were younger, we would ride BMX bikes.
Yeah.
Where like now I see all the guys, everyone's got like a beach cruiser.
Oh, yeah.
Like they just like
They're
cruising.
way cooler now.
They're cruising.
Dude, my
you know?
bike that I had was called the Rhino. And it was white.
Why do I feel like I'm not like that's just on brand for you?
And I was the only, because my name's Ryan, like Rhino, is that a nickname?
Yeah, maybe.
But one thing, do they still use pegs and stuff? Like the kid would like
I
stand
don't
on my
think so.
pegs.
I
and they
haven't
would,
seen it.
The thing with me,
I've seen a couple.
I was-
That was a lot of kids I saw taking other kids home with the pegs.
Still
on the back.
pegs?
but I was like a big kid, so I was never on the pegs. Like that was like a big childhood dream that I never got to live.
Nope.
I was too big to be on the pegs. I always had to pedal their ass around. So maybe you can ride, I can ride on your pegs someday.
Maybe.
Kids show.
Yeah.
Oh, right. What is the worst backhanded compliment you could give someone, or in my case, I put like that I've ever received?
What is yours?
So I think it's so funny. I think being in the my life, whatever. Oh, I heard that's just like I heard this the other day where it was Mr. Beast actually. It kind of goes in line with this. I'll explain in a second. But he was talking about how when you do something different, right? When you challenge the path and you go somewhere else, most people either think you're like an idiot or you're just dumb, an idiot, or you're stupid. You have no clue what you're doing until you're a genius. Right. So it's either saying like everyone's like, oh, you're doing fine, you're on the path, or once you vary from the path and you go a different way, that you're an idiot until you succeed. And then everyone's like, wow, you're so smart, you're a genius. Oh, how'd you get here? What did you do? But like that 10-year, 20-year journey to get to that point, everyone like isolated you.
Well, that's where you
they
find
thought
out
you
you're
were
real
stupid.
friends.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
It's like a flock of geese fly together, and the one ventures off. It's like, what is that dumbass bird doing?
Yep.
Maybe that bird's on a mission. You never. Maybe that bird has the key where all the good food is.
Maybe he's had a good nose. Rudolph, right?
What? But you do start to see your true friends who actually, oh, you're gonna go do this? Okay, yeah, I believe in you. Good luck to you. And someone will be like, why are you doing that? Like, you got to make money here. You got to do this, do things a certain way. Like, what? You don't have to always go towards what the system and what society wants you to do. I always tell you this: it's always the ones who venture out and don't go with the normal society are the ones that end up making it.
Agreed.
I don't think it's that hard.
No.
Well,
You just gotta
maybe
put
it
in the
is.
effort.
Yeah, exactly.
But worst backhanded compliment I've ever received. I always think it's crazy when people think this is a good idea to say to people. They always say, "Oh my gosh, you look so better," blank, right? Whether it's like with like a different in terms of a girl, like you're wearing a different dress or you do your hair different.
Dye your
or in
hair
my
different.
terms, like I had really long hair, right? And I kept my long hair. I really loved it. A lot of people tell me they didn't like it, whatever. I cut my hair. Even the people who told me they liked my hair, I would cut it and they would be like, "Oh, you look so much better with your hair short." Or right? Or maybe you lose weight, right?
That's what mine was.
Right? You lose weight and someone's like, "Oh, you look so much better, like, thinner." It's like, so what are you saying, my guy?
Yeah, so that's my input was like, oh, you look good, right? Like, oh, did I not look fucking good before? Was I fat later before?
It's just that compliment where people think they're giving you something good and they're like, "Oh my god, I love your hair."
Well, some
like, it
people
looks so
like when
good."
they recognize that you lose weight,
Well, that's different.
but when it's like minimal, it's
Yeah.
like you look good. I was like, well, I didn't change anything. I mean, I guess I was really fat before.
But those type of compliments, with especially when I got my hair cut shorter, everyone who hated my hair, or perfect example, right? You break up with your girlfriend, and they're like, "Yo, she was a bitch. Like she was
that
awful,
always
right?" Like,
happens.
and then it's like, actually, I lied to you. I just want to see what you say.
I
You know
didn't
what I'm
like
saying?
her anyway.
And it's like they're thinking they're helping you in the moment, but like if you really loved that girl and you like really like probably recent breakup, like
Dude,
probably,
we did that with one of our friends. They were like dating for like 2 years. And we are like, man, she sucked. Thank God you got rid of that. 2 years of like just sucking it up and not saying anything. This next one, I think we have 2 left. This next one could go into deep details. I feel like this could go into a tangent here. But what life skills are rarely taught, Paul, what life skills are rarely taught but are extremely useful?
I have an instant one I knew. Finances,
Yeah, that's what
and
I
like
have.
when you're younger. It doesn't make sense. like, yeah, I'm probably not gonna have to solve for X most of the time.
That's what I'm saying.
But but math is different. Not gonna lie, because math is just problem solving, and you learn how to problem solve in life. And I think that's where. But the actual like usage of the terms.
Jill
and stuff in
has
math,
3 apples.
Yeah,
She
like,
has to give 2 apples away.
But I think
Who
problem
has the apple?
in school.
Who has the goddamn apple?
In school, I think that problem solving is important. So like that's what it gets from math. But in terms of home ec or like learning how to cook, I think are great examples, which I think should be taught even younger than just like high school. And then finances, where I saw a guy, he was doing for attendance. He was a first grade teacher, second grade teacher for attendance. Every week, if you got to the school every week or every day, that you got like $5, and it was like fake money, but it was $5. And then at the end of the month, you got to spend your money at like the chest, right? And you got the prize. But he gave you expenses, so like you had to pay for your desk, and like you had to pay for like if you asked for a pen, like he would give you a free pen, but he was like, hey, remember when you asked for that pen on Tuesday? That was actually $2. Like, so he charges you, and then you go through it like as a first grader, he'd be like, all right, pen minus $1. Like, oh, like my desk rent is $2 a month. Like, and he would go, and then they would learn about how like their parents have to pay for things, and that even though they get paid, they don't actually have as much money as they do. And it's like a cool life lesson you could teach someone younger.
Well, we've all been there, where like, either our mom or dad be like, hey, Rye, can you sign this check? And then they give me the check, and I have no idea where to sign my name.
What's so interesting about
it's like,
check
which
too,
one's the routing number? Which one's the account number? I still Google it. Like, I don't know.
Because if you really think, like, a check is very simple. Like, it's extremely simple, yet like 70% of high school kids probably don't know how to write
sign
a check.
here. I'm like, where? And it points there, right there.
It's just like whose name goes where? How do you write the amount number? Like zero, right? So just simple stuff like that. I mean, if it wasn't for the internet, like, I mean, now you could just be check examples, right? Like, boom.
Yeah. If it wasn't for the internet, I'd be screwed.
To give you an idea, I actually learned how to sign a check back in 4th grade, believe it or not.
Nice.
They actually had a third-party, I don't know what the hell it was, but some other teaching program came in and taught us how to do those things. And just recently, my college had to give me a refund of like $1,000. And my mom's like, can you sign this? And the first thing I do is I flip the back of the check so I can sign that I want to receive this money.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was taught.
Good man. But it's a problem when you have to give money. That's where you fake, I don't know where to sign this.
Yeah.
What?
You owe me $250. I don't know how to sign a check. I'll give you this money some other way later.
Oh, that's where the decimal placement went? Oh, sorry, you get $1.
Yeah. Next one. What happens in your country? I'm stealing Paul's. You could.
Well, actually, I was going to skip this one. I think it's just too negative.
What happens in your country regularly that people in most countries would find strange or bizarre? The one thing that I have is Halloween.
That's interesting. Yeah.
People think we're nuts for dressing up in costumes and knocking on strangers' doors, receiving candy from them, and then eating it without checking it.
I'm curious to see if that will change in the next like 20 years.
Halloween? To what? Like,
I don't know. I just know
Halloween parties are great, by the way.
Oh,
but
parties,
then what would you change it for the kid? Like
the idea of trick or treating. Like,
it is bizarre if you think about it.
If you think in 20 years that you think that's still going to be safe, I'm just a little like, I don't know. I mean, I hope it is because I would love my child to experience that. But that's like it is mind-boggling.
It is really weird. You send your kids mostly by themselves. Like once they're like 6 or 7,
well,
8.
Now it's becoming like, okay, the parent's going to stick with your child. Like they'll stay on the sidewalk right as the child goes up to the door.
Yeah.
But yeah, wild.
It's wild. I bet you countries are like, what the hell?
That's a great one. That's a great one.
Thank you.
Next segment. That's what we're gonna do here. Crazy Did You Know Facts.
Yes, I think we have like 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, nothing too long. We're getting towards the end of the show. Appreciate you guys listening as always. What's our first one we got?
First one. So McDonald's once created bubblegum flavored broccoli. So in 2014, McDonald's developed bubblegum flavored broccoli, producer Drew, as a tastier version for children, and it was a complete failure, obviously.
No shit.
McDonald's CEO Dan Thompson admitted that kids were very confused on the flavor and did not enjoy it. I don't know why they thought this was a good idea. It almost makes you think of like all these other crazy, bizarre menu items that these other. Well, McDonald's they do the apples now, right? Is that their healthy option?
The apple slices. Well, I mean, you can get a salad at McDonald's. It's just not healthy, but you can get a salad there.
That's a question I don't like. Why are salads at like Chick-fil-A or McDonald's not healthy?
What is it? You could probably answer this better. Is it dressing or something? Or it's like, yeah, it's like dressing.
So they put the dressing on before you get it.
probably. I don't.
Neither of us eat salad.
I've never ordered a salad from
Me and Paul have
McDonald's.
never had a salad. Some kid DM'd us. They're like, "Yo, how much money or how many views or how many likes to blank you guys eat blank on the show?" And it's like, well, a lot.
A lot.
Because
Yeah.
me and you, we don't really fly. That's a no-fly zone. But it's like, you know what I also noticed? Taco Bell gets rid of all their good menu items.
So that's the whole point.
Like the nacho fries. Why do they come in and out?
Because that's the point.
That's one of their better items.
No, because the idea. I mean, I love the nacho
Nacho fries are great, but why are they always taking off the
Phenomenal.
menu?
Because if it's a limited edition thing that it's like, hey, nacho fries are leaving, like then you might be enticed to go buy them. And then once they come, because I went to Taco Bell the other day and I'll be like, yo, nacho fries, and the guy's like,
nacho fries,
and the guy's like, nah. But then if I'm sitting down, I'm laying in bed, and all of a sudden I go, you see this whole big thing.
The
and
movie,
it's like,
they have like a movie trailer for it.
yeah, the nacho fries advertisements are insane. And they'll be like, nacho fries back at Taco Bell. And then I like call up my girlfriend. I'm like, yo, let's go to Taco Bell. Like, you're ready to move. You're ready to bounce. And like, if that wasn't a thing, I wouldn't be doing that.
Nacho fries are back.
Nacho fries.
But that is true. And then some of these other fast food places obviously have had some menu items like McDonald's that have failed. What Burger King did the chicken parm. Oh, someone did hot dog. Burger King, I think, did hot dog.
I feel like that would fit in Burger King too.
Burger King's just pulling out all the stops to try to get business. You can get 30 nuggets there for $1.25.
Yeah, Burger King did. Well, they all have the chicken sandwich now because they realized how popular it was.
Yeah.
So like McDonald's did their chicken sandwich. Even Wendy's, I heard the Wendy's chicken sandwich is good. Burger King even like did one because they do that. It's called the McChing.
McChing?
Yeah.
Burger King?
Yeah, I forget what it's called.
They're struggling.
It's something like that too because it was like yeah, McChing or whatever.
You can speak, live audience. We need help sometimes.
But
We're not playing charades out here.
I've seen commercials where it's like the Whopper might have like some competition. The new McChing from Burger King. And you're like, what? Oh, McCing. I don't know. It's like something like that. It's something.
What is it?
It's like the chicken and the king and McChing. I don't know. But
Regardless, I'm not going into a fucking Burger King.
Yeah, exactly.
right.
So it's always these new menu items.
You can get a crown. Hang out with, what's his name, Mr. Burger King?
The birthday parties at Burger King growing up, bro.
Were lit.
When you
They were
used to-
litty.
When you used to get a crown from Burger King and you were like the king, like it was your birthday, and then everyone else would be like, here's this 30-cent paper crown. And everyone was like, let's go.
And they had like the birthday room, and you'd have like your own birthing. It's like a VIP room for kids.
I remember,
Burger King.
there was a new Burger King that opened up by us. It's still there. And I remember there was just a little section. It was like the birthday thing. And it's like, it's really not. Like, it's
Dude,
just,
they used to have like computers. But then the problem was the homeless people would come in and they'd be living in Burger King.
I mean, it's crazy to think that McDonald's used to have like video games in their stores. You used to be able to go like play video game at McDonald's, like on this little kiosk. And then I remember when that Burger King was built and it was brand new, we would go into the Burger King and it was like, holy shit. Like they were like
This place rocks.
There were like 6 desktops that were on like Windows 10. And you'd be like, oh my God, like, what can I do?
Let's play Balloon Tower Defense.
Yeah. Like your parents would be sitting there like eating the meal and you'd be on like the computer. Like
We have to go around. No, one more game. I got my crown on. I got my chicken fries.
it's wild. I mean,
That's funny. They got rid of those, right?
I mean,
it was the thing. We used to go to like our middle school dances and we went to Burger King.
yeah, we would go to a middle school dance. We'd get down to 10. The parents would drive us to Burger King. And yeah, there was those computers.
All right.
Next one we have here is Shakespeare invented more than 1,700 words. It was basically, saying how Shakespeare, when he wanted to craft his plays and poems, that he sometimes resorted to making up his own words to make it fit better and to flow. So, in fact, he said it came up with 1,700 words, including moonbeam, laughable, eyeball, bump, puking, champion, bedroom, excitement, and Zanny. But here's the thing about
Zanny,
this.
is that like a Xanax?
No, like
Let's
Zanny.
take a Zanny before Juliet and Romeo.
I feel like Zanny's just like excitement.
Probably.
But
Do you
it
get
is-
excited when you take a Zanny?
No.
I've never taken a Xanax.
Oh, you answer no.
It's just a quick answer.
No, he answered it.
But there's a really famous, or it was a quote in like one of the Avengers films or something, and it was like some quick comment where it's like, "That's not a word." He's like, "That's made up," or it's like all words are made up, and it's like, or
Fuck,
it was
good point.
yeah, it was like Drax, and it was some stupid. He's like, "That's not even a word." He's like, "That's made up." He's like, "All words are made up," and he's like, "Oh shit!" Like, you know what I mean? If you could come up with anything, there was a video series a while ago when YouTube first came out. I mean, I remember following it, and these guys, their objective was to like create words that had like resonated in pop culture, that after 5 years they could get it to the dictionary and it would become like a legit word. Because if you make up a word and just put a few letters together and it sounds like okay, just you know,
this is actually bizarre. Like these laughable, that's a big time word.
yeah,
Eyeball?
it's Shakespeare.
So Shakespeare literally called this an eyeball.
If that
and now doctors call it eyeballs.
If it was an old, it might be
imagine
different.
saying eyeball for the first time. Like if I was just like that could be something soon.
In 30 years, it maybe could be. It maybe could
we talked about this on the show and like how bizarre it is on how words are created and just how the English. Well, is he only making words for the English language?
Well, he was English.
Interesting. So was there laughable before in like France or England?
I mean, they probably made a new word.
So did Shakespeare make laughable, and then they had the Spanish word for laughable based off Shakespeare?
Probably, but laughable maybe came from some type of Latin. Like there's probably some derivative in there.
So it wasn't just like blah, 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 blah.
No.
It was like probably like actually knowledge that
You're
went
basically
behind
describing why Google Translate has a hard time translating from one to another, because it's a word that probably doesn't exist there. We came up with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
All right, next one is crowds at one LSU football game once cheered so loudly that it registered as an earthquake on a local seismograph. So the game took place between LSU and Auburn University, took place in front of 79,431 fans at LSU Tiger Stadium. The crowd's reaction to the final play registered an earthquake by a seismograph located around 1,000 feet from the stadium. A seismologist noticed the reading the next day, and the game went down in LSU history, and it's known as the earthquake game. So we talk about this all the time. College football environments are nuts.
Yeah.
And like there's over 100,000 sometimes at stadiums like Penn State that kids are just hammered from drinking all day and they go ballistic. I mean, I believe that an earthquake, seismic shake could happen from that stadium.
If you look at the college stadiums, because a lot of them are bench seating,
Yeah,
that they can hold more people, right?
Yeah.
So they're like larger, they can hold more people because they don't have individual seats. And then you look at Virginia Tech.
Crazy.
That's
like a top 3 environment.
Yeah, because Virginia Tech, literally, when the players enter the field, they play Enter Sandman.
Yeah.
And the entire stadium is jumping.
Nuts.
And it's just like, I mean, I've been in that crowd. I've a few times, maybe like 4 or 5 times, and it is freaking nuts, dude.
It's probably the number 1 like college entrance. It's definitely up there. And so it's cool for this because it's like called the earthquake game.
Yeah.
But like they're the one making the earthquake. Do you know there's like the baseball games that there's an earthquake there? But then that's from the Earth Day on today's episode of Life's a Party.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. You were at the earthquake game. Yeah. Not you physically. I'm just saying like someone out there.
Someone out there.
If you listen to Life's a Party and you're at the earthquake game, let us know. All right, last one.
Last one we got here is, this involves the Titanic.
Nice.
So a lifeboat drill was canceled the morning of the Titanic tragedy. Other than the fact that it hit an iceberg and sank, clearly, a lot went wrong during the Titanic tragedy. But one of the most jaw-dropping facts about the incident is that, according to a passenger who later recalled what happened during this testimony at the congressional hearings in Washington, was that a routine lifeboat drill was supposed to take place the morning of the disaster, but the crew actually never assembled and the drill was canceled.
Tell you what, that's a bad time to cancel a drill. The employees were not ready for whatever happened later that day.
That's when tragedy strikes, right? Like it's always like, oh,
the one step you missed, the one little moment you take your eyes off the prize, shit happens.
You cut a corner, you're not prepared, kind of thing. I saw this thing where, have you ever seen the blow-ups? Like the slides, like the blow-ups, like the inflatables. As a kid, you would climb up the slide. You ever see those ones of the Titanic?
No.
It's a blow-up, like a inflatable, where it's the Titanic. So it's on its side, and the slide is like the boat. So you go up, and then you slide down. And it's just always that fun commentary where it's like, like this tragedy was turned into like a fun, joyful moment.
I was gonna say that's kind of messed up,
right? Like, it's crazy to think about that, but just because it's so well known, it's just a fun little thing. But
do you know when that happened? Like early 1900s or in the 1800s?
I want to say 1920s, 30s, maybe 30s, maybe it was later. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert. 1909. We got the expert
1909. So if you are on a cruise ship and they cancel whatever practice they have to do in the morning, you got to jump ship, literally jump ship.
But that's our show. We appreciate you guys listening. Give us a follow on Instagram, TikTok, at Life's a Party Pod. We are nearing 1,000 subscribers over on YouTube. Check out the YouTube channel if you haven't already. We got posting some brand new videos, got new videos coming ahead. And the set and just watching the show is a whole different vibe. So if you haven't checked it out, do us a favor, go check it out.
Yeah, we do appreciate people who listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but we do want to transition the audience to YouTube. Producer Drew, as we mentioned every show, he's doing a great job over there. He's showing graphics. He's showing videos of stuff we're talking to on point.
Yeah.
So it's much more appealing to the eye instead of us just sitting there. We have 3 cameras, different lenses, different views. And give us a like on YouTube. We want to get likes up. We have to get some likes.
We've been getting some more likes. The audience has been going up on YouTube, which is super dope, so appreciate that. But if you listen on Spotify, wherever you want to listen to us, we appreciate it.
We do.
That's what we do. So we hope you have a great week. We're going to party. And as always,
music, take us out.
Peace, baby.
Later.